Hello, I'm Adrian Ashton. I support community businesses of all types with a wide range of issues that they may be struggling with. Governance is one of those words where many groups start to dread it a little bit, because whenever they're filling out a funding form, whenever they're bidding for a contract, or they're talking to an officer, someone says, "Tell me about your governance." And we all panic a bit and we go, well, we have a board of trustees, or we have these directors and we do meetings, is that enough? And we kind of fluff over it, which is a shame. And again, I think it's something about the jargon that comes with governance, because if you look at governance and you in the dictionary, or you go on one of these technical governance courses, you get bamboozled with these long flowing paragraphs that take you 3 breaths to get to the end of one sentence in, because of all this technical jargon in it. Ultimately, governance is about relationships. It's about the relationships you want to have with the different groups of people and organizations that are within and connected to your organization. Governance is what we call the systems and processes we create to protect and manage those relationships. And they're usually referred to as policies or codes of conduct, which are designed around our particular form as a community group. So this thing called governance is worth our paying attention to and putting a bit of time to, not just where we're at the point of starting up, but checking it on an ongoing basis, for 3 reasons. Number 1, it's about assuring our different audiences that we're a safe pair of hands. If we're asking someone else for their money, they want to be assured we're going to look after it. We're going to spend it safely. And that means we've got systems, processes, policies in place to make sure that happens properly. We have a governance system that means they can trust us. The second reason is about when things go wrong. Because ultimately, as much as we all get along today, people change, right? We've all heard the stories. We used to get along great, and then they won the lottery, or then they got the promotion, and I think we change all the time. Sometimes, circumstances change and people may fall out of favor with each other. So having a system and a process, policies, codes in place, means that if people have a falling out, it can be managed objectively and cleanly. So at the very least, there won't be any bodies to have to kind of clean up afterwards. And hopefully actually it will minimize the stress, the distraction and the upset that everyone feels. And the third reason that this thing called governance is important is because 50 years from now, we're not going to be doing what we are today. 50 years from now, no one's even going to probably remember our name. Ideally, we should be on an island somewhere with pina coladas and nice books sitting on the beach. So we've got a question about those people who've come after us in our groups and businesses. What should they be bound to? What is it that we expect them to carry on? What are the standards that they should uphold after we're gone? And what should they have the flexibility to adapt to over time? So we've talked about how important it is for you to work out what kind of relationships you want to have with different people and how you want them to work. Unfortunately, there is a bit of a rider on this, and a but point. And that but point is, what's your legal form that you've chosen? Because depending on the legal form you've chosen for your organization, that may come with some preset rules for things you have to do or not do within your governance. For example, if you are a charity, then as a general rule, if you've got someone who's benefiting from the charity because they're getting paid as an employee, or they're a direct recipient of the services, then they shouldn't really be on the board of trustees. There's workarounds to these sorts of things, but as a general rule, so that again is already setting a hard line of you can't have that in your governance. But if you wanted something that said actually anyone in our community who has an interest in us, anyone who's put money into us, who uses us, should be able to be part of anything in the organization, then a cooperative structure is explicitly designed to enable that and to encourage it. So always check with your legal form as a starting point when you're thinking about your governance. It may be as well that there are codes of governance that have been developed for your type of venture as well. And there are links to these on the website and the resource pages here at Bolton CVS. But a code of governance is a checklist that says if you are a cooperative or a charity or a sports club, for example, here is a checklist written in plain English about what's recognised as best practice when you're approaching designing these different relationships, and will keep you on the right side of what the regulator and the law expects of you within that form as well.